All right, today I just want to talk about something that has been a huge part of my week. And I say this that when something is a huge part of my week, a conversation has been reoccurring during my week. It's always a prompting for me to talk about it. So I've been having this conversation with my wife, and yesterday my mentee asked me a question concerning this thing I want to talk about. And for me, it was just validation for me to talk about it today on the podcast. Today, I want to talk about friendship before courtship and courtship before marriage. Friendship before courtship, courtship before marriage. So, if you are young, unmarried, you might be single, you might be in a relationship, you might not even be thinking of a relationship yet. I need you to gather around. Those are people I need to gather around to listen to today's podcast because I think it's very important. It's very important. You know, my mentee reached out to me and was asking me a question about attraction, seeing a girl and being attracted to her, and whether to go up to her. Every single girl you see you're attracted. Oh, she's beautiful. Not every single girl, but you see a girl, she's attractive. Is that enough to go up to the girl and, strike up a romantic conversation? Even though I don't like that word, romance, but I'm using it for us to understand, to put relationships in context. So you strike up like a romantic relationship where you want to define it as a courtship. You understand? You want to have this exclusive relationship with this person, for her to be a special person to you, for you to be a special person to her. So he was asking about attraction, about is that enough for you to just, what comes after attraction? Should you approach a girl that you just see as beautiful and then you just go up to her and from the get-go try to strike up romance? So you get romantic from the get-go. And I was telling him that attraction is good. Attraction is a normal thing. But attraction is just the first stage. It's the first stage of what could be a courtship. But I see that a lot of people see it as the first and last. They see it as the decider of whether a courtship should start. Some people call it courtship, some people call it dating. I would rather call it courtship than dating. You understand? But then you can call it dating if you want to, as long as you understand what I'm saying. You go into a committed romantic relationship. Attraction is just the first. It's just the first. Attraction is the primer. It's not the decider. And it shouldn't be. But I've seen that we live in a world with a generation of people that don't want any stages between attraction and courtship and then full-time marriage commitment. In fact, for a lot of people, courtship is too inconveniencing. You understand? They want courtship to be as short as possible. I meet you today, in 6 months' time, we should be talking wedding. We should be talking wedding. We should be married. I see a lot with young ladies, but I'll come to young ladies. But I see young men too, who don't know what to do when they see a beautiful young lady. So you see a lady, she's beautiful, and the first thing you go and you start saying things like, I love you. I see you as my wife. I would like you to be my wife. It's very unfortunate that this is very common amongst church boys. Church boys. Church boys. If you're a church boy, and what I mean by a church boy is you're a boy who takes, you know, fellowshipping seriously, you understand? You you go to church, you are active in church. Um a lot of your social life is around church activities. That's not bad. To be honest, it's not bad. I'm not even mocking that. When I say church boy, I don't mean it as a derogatory term. It is not bad. It is not bad. When I was growing up, my teenage to my early youthful years, I spent a lot of time in church. My Saturdays was spent in church. You understand? I loved church activity. I attend the Baptist church, and the good thing about the Baptist church is that they have a lot of activities for every age range. You're a teenager, you're a youth, we have youth fellowship, we have Royal Ambassador, we have Sunbeam, we have stuff for you. Teenage fellowship, everything is there. So I was in church from Friday to Saturday. Friday, teenage fellowship, Saturday, Royal Ambassador, choir meeting. So I was in church. I was a church boy. So there's nothing wrong with that. If you are someone that admires me, know that I admire a church boy. I'm a church boy. You understand? But then there's something that I see with church boys today. And it's not today, but it's so predominant today, in today's world, is that church boys have very weak romance game. Their romance game is terrible. I'm sorry to use the word game, but what I mean is that their prowess, you understand, their skill romantically is poor. They fall into this error a lot. Attraction, and then you start talking about love. For a girl you don't even have a relationship with in terms of friendship, a girl you haven't spoken to for long. She doesn't even know your name. You just come out of nowhere and just say, "Oh, you're a very beautiful girl. I think you're so beautiful. I love you. I see you as my wife." You know, sin. I see a lot of church boys do this, and it's a turn off. It used to be a turn off for a lot of young ladies in church because it just felt like, get to know me first. Get to know me first. But they're already talking wife, love, marriage. They think that's for the average church guy. They think that's the most romantic thing. I love you. I want to marry you. So they just want to position themselves as responsible and committed. But a lot of times, at least then, girls wanted to take it slowly. Things have changed now. Because what I realize is that girls don't want to take it slowly anymore. So they even think the guy is too slow for wanting to go through a friendship. I see a lot of girls talk about, man, forget friendship stage. Forget friendship stage. Let's know where you're going. They're just so insecure. So insecure. They just want a guy in their life, a relationship, a courtship, and they want to get married as early, as fast as possible. I don't know where this pressure is coming from, but it's so sad. Girls have become so impatient, and that is disastrous. You see, the guy being impatient is not as disastrous as the lady being impatient. And I'll tell you why. Because I feel something the female gender really needs to learn is patience. Patience. And I'm not saying this just arbitrarily. I'm saying this because nature proves it. The female gender has been given some unique challenges that tests her patience, and only her patience. It doesn't test the male patient. So it makes me know that patience is very important for the female. A female that hasn't mastered patience or becomes impatient and takes impatience as a lifestyle has lost a huge chunk of her femininity. I'll tell you why I think patience, even in God's heart, is important for the female. Because He has set some things in motion that teaches the female to be patient, even when it's hard. The first thing is menstruation. Menstruation. Every healthy female should menstruate. This is a time of the month, a time in the month that every female goes through. If you're a female listening to this, I'm sure all of you have gone through it. Some of you are going through it right now while you're listening to this. It's unique to every female. Guys do not menstruate. We do not understand it. We don't know what it's like, what the discomfort, what the pain, what the uneasiness. We don't understand it. But if you talk to a female who's being honest with you, a lot of them will tell you it's not their finest hour. A lot of them, if they could wish it away, would wish that it never happened. A lot of them still question God, why does this have to go on? For a number of days, a woman goes through this discomfort and pain and uneasiness and self-consciousness. I don't think they've created any medicine that halts menstruation. From the beginning of time, I don't know if Eve had it, but then going forward, it has been happening. Women have had to deal with this thing called menstruation. They must cope. They must cope with that pain. It teaches a woman patience. It teaches a woman to bear that pain till it runs its course. Only women have that kind of obstacle task in their life. Men don't have it. Men don't have it. There is nothing in a man's life that is equal to menstruation. A period in a man's life that he has to wait for a pain to run its course. There's no period like that in a man's life. None that teaches a man patience. So it happens in a woman because God needs to teach the female to be patient. Patience is very important because patience forms femininity. The second thing with women that's only unique to them is pregnancy. Pregnancy. My wife has been pregnant 3 times. We have 3 children. Pregnancy. I know what it's like for a woman to go through pregnancy. And sometimes, if you're an empathetic man, you kind of feel, I just wish I could take this thing off her for a night. Because I remember when she was pregnant with our first child, I just didn't understand. She couldn't sleep. Some nights she couldn't sleep. And when the pregnancy is coming along, she has to sleep in a particular position. She cannot turn anyhow. Look, me, I sleep on my chest. I sleep on my side. I can sleep up. I sleep anyhow. But I can't imagine someone restricted for months in a particular position. Sometimes her back is aching. In the early period, morning sickness. She can't deal with particular smells, hormones everywhere, jumping. You understand? It's a serious time. 9 months. 9 months of letting this thing run its course. Men don't have anything similar to that. A woman is victim of this thing for 9 months. It's not because God is wicked. It's because God has a lot to teach the woman about patience. So a woman that is not patient has lost her femininity. Femininity of a woman is not about how beautiful she is. The core of a woman's femininity is patience. Is dealing with pain and discomfort. This is passed on. You can see it even in their fashion. A woman can wear uncomfortable shoes for long hours because pain and discomfort is part of a woman's femininity. Nature says this. So a woman that is not patient has almost become a man. That's why it's very concerning when ladies are not patient to go through a friendship or a courtship before marriage, where they are the ones saying, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's get married, let's get married, let's get married. It's very unladylike. Very unladylike. That's the loss of femininity. That's why the lady waits for the man to come. I don't know how they do it. When you see somebody you really like and you have to wait for him and hope that he likes you too and he approaches you. I don't know. I'm a guy. I don't know how women do it. It seems like a very passive position. But nature tells you, even through menstruation and through pregnancy, that you need to wait. Patience as your virtue. Media and trend tells you it's okay to go and approach a guy now. It's okay for a woman to make the passes at the guy and ask the guy out. It is not okay. Oh, let me not lie to you. It's not okay. It is not okay for two reasons. The first reason is that nature trains a woman to be patient and to wait. Even in your body, when you produce eggs, it waits to be fertilized. It doesn't go out of the body to look for the sperm. It's against the feminine essence. That's the truth. It's painful. You see a guy, oh, I like him so much. How can't I just go and tell him that I like him and we should start dating? But that's part of the pain that brings about the virtue of patience. But it comes with a reward for the woman that leans into it, not goes against it. New media tells you to go against it. If men can go for women, women can also go for men. Go and get your man. Then you lose your femininity. And that's why I say two reasons. It goes against your femininity. Number two, it puts off the man. Don't let any man deceive you. A man is put off by being denied the opportunity to venture out. The man likes to venture out. I did a podcast about sexual interaction. I think a lot of people need to listen to it. It talks, I can't remember the title of the podcast, but it was talking about the need for a woman. I think the woman effect. Listen to it. Do you think the sperm would like it if women were releasing eggs to come and meet them? No, they want to go out. They want to venture out. They don't want to be denied that. That's why when a man has too much sperm stored up in him, he feels uncomfortable. That thing needs to be released. It needs to venture out. Men do not like when women venture out for them and deny them that opportunity to venture out. No matter how shy he is, he wants that challenge. So don't go asking any guy out as a woman. No matter how many films you see where they ask guys out, don't go doing that. Don't go doing that. The societies where you see ladies do that, how many of their marriages work? The societies where you see women doing that, how many of the men commit to marriage? They just become live-in partners for years. A man likes the task of venturing out. You've seen him, you like him. You can wait through pregnancy. You can wait through menstruation. You can wait for him to come. You see, women have this invisible energy. Once you see him, you like him. Don't worry. You've sent out there's an energy. You don't just keep your composure. He will come. The egg doesn't need to venture out of the woman's body. Patience. But then I want to focus on this friendship before courtship. Of course, there's a lot of friendship in courtship, but there should be friendship before courtship. And I'm talking about investigative friendship. When you see, and this means talking a lot to the guys right now, when you see a lady you are attracted to, be friends first. Friends first. Investigative friendship. Attraction should just be something that calls for your attention. It should never be the decider of a courtship or romantic involvement. No, it's your attention. Check this out. Do you want to investigate this? And then you investigate. If you are interested in investigating. Because a time will come in your life as a man that you are married. You cannot always be investigating. You will still see attractive women. Then you must learn discipline. To look and to turn away. Looks nice, turn away. You can't pluck every flower you see out there. But then for the single men, you see a woman, you're attracted to her. Investigate. You turn into a PI, a private eye, private investigator. And you start watching the woman. I remember meeting my wife and seeing my wife. My wife doesn't know how long I was watching her. We went to the same church, but I watched her. I watched her at church. I watched her pay attention. I watched whether she was restless, whether one of those people that would be in church and walk out, go out like 5 times. I watched her for so long. Before even forming, you understand, this communicative friendship. No, I was watching her. A lot of guys, you need to spend time watching. Investigate. Investigate. Very important. Investigate. Especially when you're in an environment like a school, a church, or stuff like that. Investigate. You see her dressing one way one day and like, oh, I love the way you dress. Do you know you should dress it like that every day? Is it a pattern or is it a rare occurrence? Investigate. There will come a time where you have to introduce yourself and get to know her as a friend, but just as a friend. As a friend. Watch the way she talks, the words she uses. Very important. It takes a lot of patience. You must build friendship. Friendship before the commitment of courtship, and definitely before the commitment of marriage. Friendship is so important. It's the foundation of this thing called marriage. Being friends. Being friends. It's so important. Be friends. I tell people this. Before committing to marriage, you must find out something you don't like about that person. If you haven't found out what you don't like, do not ask, do not go and get any proposal ring and be getting on one knee to do anything. Stop orchestrating all this your proposal. No. Find something you do not like. Because there is something you do not like. Find those things you do not like. If you haven't found those things you do not like, both of you have not been open enough. Because those things you do not like are the things that really make you question whether you are ready to be committed. Not the things you like. Anybody can commit to things they like. It's the things you don't like that make you know whether you're committed. When you find those things you do not like, the question you now ask is, do I like the things I like enough to live with these things I don't like? Not asking yourself, do I like these things enough to change those things that I don't like? No, assume those things you don't like will never go. That's why that period of courtship and friendship is a time of investigation, a time of asking questions. You must ask questions. Very important. Ask questions. Spend a lot of time talking. Talk. Ask questions. You see, for the guys, you don't understand how important it is to ask a lady questions before you get into a relationship that leads into marriage. It's very important. You can't just go by, she's a fine girl, she's a fine girl. Nobody stays a fine girl for years. What I'm saying is not the lady is not beautiful for years. But then beauty can become commonplace, where you get used to it. It doesn't become as beautiful anymore. I'm telling you, you must have conversations. And this is where, for guys, it's very important. It's very important for guys to know a lot of their mission in life before they get married. Guys, this issue of purpose is very important to a man, more important than it is to a woman. Purpose. But I realize that ladies take it more seriously than guys do. A lot of guys are purposeless. You do not know what God desires for you to do with your life. Because a lot of us did not have mentors that told us. That's one of the reasons I make this podcast. To pour myself out to guys the way older guys never poured themselves out to me. A guy must be close to God. It's unfortunate that women are closer to God than guys are. Very unfortunate. A guy must be close to God. It's so important. Just like a woman must be patient, more patient than a man, a guy must be more prayerful than a woman. And I'm not talking about chatterbox prayer. No, I'm not talking about that. Because you can't do that more than women. That's the truth. Asking God stuff, asking God for stuff. I'm talking about the silence waiting for God to talk to you. Hearing from God, knowing God's voice and direction. It's more important for a man to know God's voice and direction very early in life before he gets married. Very important. A man that doesn't know God's purpose doesn't deserve a wife. Because he won't know what to use the wife for. He wouldn't. A man that doesn't know God's purpose can never know who is a good wife for him. You can never know. You only go based on, her skin, her bust, her hips, come on. You go based on the wrong things. Then when you discover purpose later, you now start assessing the person you have. You now realize that the person doesn't fit in to that purpose. And that's why sometimes you see very purposeful men with what I call a great ministry. And ministry doesn't have to be church. So let's get our minds right. Let's stop this pigeonholing of our mind. A great ministry, whether in his work, in his service, in his skill, has a great ministry. But you see that the marriage fails immediately that ministry starts. And then we're like, how now? This guy is such a good guy, strong ministry. Because most of these men did not find God's purpose before they got married. So they chose the wrong women with the wrong matrix. She's quiet. She's well behaved. She dresses well. Those things are good. But the most important thing is, does she fit into the purpose? And what does fitting into the purpose mean? There are three types of women that guys get married to. Three types of women that guys get married to. Because God has a project for each man. He has a building project. You are meant to build something as a guy. Building can be tending, taking care of something, like Adam had to do something. His project was Eden. Every man has a project. And Adam got his project before he got Eve. He heard from God directly. You understand? That's why it's very important for men to know God. Three projects. Three types of women that guy can marry. But they have to do with the project that God wants him to build. Number one woman that a man can marry is a woman that prevents him from building that thing. Whatever the project is, your own Eden, your own ark that Noah was given, your own leading children out of Israel that Moses was given, your own killing Goliath, your own everything. Every man had a project. You understand? We have women that prevent. And I can let you know that a beautiful woman can prevent you. You married her because she was beautiful. In the middle of it, you got closer to God. You now got your project to build. She's not telling you, as long as you are living in this house, you will never do this thing. You will never do it. Because this is not who you married me as. You married me as a medical doctor. You told us you'll be traveling abroad every summer. And now you're telling me you are sent to people in IDP camps. You want to stop your job. I will never allow you to do it. The day you do it, I will walk away with your children. You never see your children again. What does the man do? What does the man do? The woman is a stumbling block to his building project, to his purpose. Because he didn't know his purpose before he chose. He chose based on skin complexion. He chose based on sound of her voice, texture of her hair, size of her bust. Those things cannot fill up the unfulfillment and the turmoil he will feel by his building project being blocked. It's not the woman, not like the woman is a bad woman. No, a lot of people say the woman is not a bad woman. She just met a man that was not prepared for marriage. So the man didn't ask the right questions. Because it was all about attraction. Men ought to pray. Men ought to know God. All this rubbish ambition where we are following, trying to get the bag instead of getting the task, is madness. You get the bag and you lose your entire family. In fact, you get the bag, lose your family, and your wife takes half the bag that you chased so with all your heart. Get the task. Very important. Second type of woman a man can marry is the woman that allows him to build. A woman that allows him to build. Now, for me, this might sound better than the woman that prevents him from building, but it's more dangerous. I'll tell you why. Because it seems good, but it's not the best. And the biggest enemy of the best is not the bad, but the good. So sometimes you have the good and you're patting yourself on the back when you are meant to have the best. That's why the good is very dangerous. This is good. A woman that allows is good. Sounds good. She does her own thing, but she doesn't disturb you from doing your own thing. It's good, but it's not ideal. It's not ideal. We have a lot of men. They have their building project, their purpose, but they're alone and they're married. It should not be. It should never be. That man will never achieve. He will never reach the height of achievement and the fullest expression of his potential. If you listen to that podcast, The Woman Effect, I talk about the sperm fertilizing the egg. That's all the sperm can do, fertilize. It's the egg that now begins to break down the sperm, breaks it down and begins to mold it into a fetus eventually. She breaks down. She doesn't just allow the sperm to do anything it wants to do. The sperm doesn't know how to do any other thing but fertilize. So left to the sperm, stops at fertilization. But fertilization is not all there is to gestation. It must mature into a fetus, come out as a baby. Fertilization is not enough. So women that allow their guys to do all he does is fertilize, but that is not evident for the whole world to see. That's why you might see a man, incredible skill, incredible potential. Like, this man should be more known than this. There should be more. There should be more. He's being allowed to. Should not be allowed to. And this is where the women need to learn. A lot of women go into marriage, especially today, with an individualistic mentality. I have my dream, you have your dream. I have my profession, you have your profession. And this happens a lot because men do not know what their purpose is. We are seeking profession, not purpose. Your profession should only be an expression of your purpose. A lot of women do not want to hear this. Your husband's profession is your main profession. They don't want to hear this, but that's the truth. Women don't want to hear that they are made for the man. That is not a weakness. That is not limiting. It is not limiting. Your fullest expression is aligning with the man's purpose. The problem, again, is that a lot of men do not pray enough to know their purpose. They are too distracted in youth, too restless, too playful, too ambitious, not spiritual enough. Use all their energy on football on weekends and on Sunday mornings. Go and play football. Go to church, they won't go. Go and pray, they won't pray. Your energy is to know God. Your youthful years, know God. Know what God's purpose is for you. Stop chasing the bag. Stop chasing the bag. Chase the task. What's the assignment? What's the building project? Or else you can't blame the woman for finding her own passion, her own profession. Then you now come 20 years into a profession. 20 years is even too long. 5 years into a profession and say, go and quit this, go and stop this. Very hard. How? That's why it's important. Young men. The woman for you is not always the one that, the one that glitters. It's good though to be attracted, But you must investigate more, and you can only investigate better if you know who you are better, who you are in God, and that person that clicks with who you are in God. Or else the best you will get is a woman that allows you. The ultimate type of woman to marry is a woman that builds with a man. That builds with the man. The woman that builds with a man. A man and a woman should work together on the project that God has given the man. This is the full expression of the unity between man and woman. The sperm fertilizes, but the egg takes it to another level. You need a man, woman, to allow you do your greatest work in the world and deliver something that everybody celebrates. That's why when the baby is born, people come around. But the woman does a lot of the work. A lot of the work. The egg cannot fertilize itself. You must take the idea of the man and take it like your own. Even you're even more serious about it than he is. When he's sleeping, you're not sleeping. Remember, you've learned patience and pain. When he's sleeping, you're not sleeping. You are thinking, you are strategizing. You are beginning to put more into it, making it richer, nourishing it, incubating it. Marriage should never be individualistic. Never. Doesn't work that way. There's a psychologist, Carl Jung. Carl Jung is one of the most foremost psychologists. Anybody that's into psychology, everybody knows Carl Jung. He's written so many papers. He's a brilliant man. God sent that man to do psychology. I'm telling you. Sometimes I just watch his videos and listen to him. He's full of so much wisdom. You can tell that one is a gift that God has given him. Carl Jung. But one thing we don't know about Carl Jung is his wife. Carl Jung was a struggling man from a poor background, but he was brilliant. Brilliant. Till he met his wife. His wife was she came from the third richest family in Switzerland. They used to make wristwatches, her family used to make wristwatches. She was the third most desirable maiden then in Switzerland, unmarried woman, bachelorette in Switzerland then. Her dad had 2 children, her and a younger sister. No son. She was the oldest, so she was the heir to this company. Then she met this brilliant man called Carl Jung. All he had was a mission and a dream and a skill, a talent, whatever you want to call it, but a light within him. But she had her father's company making billions, even till today. But then she did one thing. She realized her life, her goal, was to align with Carl Jung's vision. So she told her sister, look, when Dad dies, I leave this company to you and your husband. But you must be paying me and my husband our yearly revenue from the company. Because I'm going to align with my husband to make him the most foremost psychologist in the world. He has books in his mind. He has papers in his mind. I'm going to help him get those papers to the rest of the world. She gave up all her own ambition. The path that has been cleared for her, she knew Her path was with this man, Carl Jung, and she poured all her resources into Carl Jung doing what he was meant to build. That is why Carl Jung is known even till today as one of the foremost psychologists in the world. When the woman died, said Carl Jung cried bitterly because he said that was his queen, that was his life. He said he was nothing without her. He knew that all he could do was fertilize, but he knew that that beautiful baby was only because he found a woman that was willing to build with him. She could have been the CEO of a successful wristwear company. But she decided to be with him. Her name is not as known as his own. I can't remember her name. I think her name is Janet. I can't remember her name. But she did what she was meant to do. A lot of women are fighting too much to get their identity out there, not knowing that their identity is with that man, is in doing that man's work. Sorry if this doesn't sound good, but it's the truth. You can try it out and see how satisfied you would be building your own identity and let your husband build his own. The thirst would linger and linger and linger. The story of the woman at the well, is that not the story? That's why Jesus was saying, I will give you water. You know what? That you won't thirst anymore. Why do you think she was thirsting? She was thirsting because she had too many husbands. She didn't align with one. Too many. God knows what she wasn't willing to do. She was not willing to build with any man. And that's why she was so restless. And when Jesus said, I will give you water that you won't thirst. She said, I want it to, because I've been thirsting too much. Jesus knew that she was thirsty. Even as she was replacing husband, she hadn't come to hide her identity with one man's purpose. So women, you can try it out. See, build your own. It just cost you a lot, but at the end, you'll still be thirsty. But when you build with a man that knows his purpose, the satisfaction, the fulfillment you will get, you will not be able to describe. But men, I must warn a lot of men, please get serious about God. Get serious about God. Know your purpose so a woman can build with you. Some women want to build, but there's nothing. You're not giving them any material to build with. That's why a lot of men have jackpot and they will tell you, hey, madam said we should just travel, it's good for the kids. Because she sees that you don't have any passion, no purpose, no prayer life. She's like, I better help this man or else we will just die as a family. So all we are doing, madam says we should just jackpot so that at least the kids can have good education. Since you don't have any direction. God wants more for us than to just seek greener pastures. He wants for us to build. That's why courtship is so important. When you know your purpose, you start to talk to the woman about it. What do you think about this? What do you think about writing books? Because I feel I'm going to write a lot of books. Do you like editing books? Do you like proofreading books? Do you understand? Start reading some of your books to her. Does she feel bored? Is she able to say, man, read that book to me again? That is the woman that is attractive. Not the one that you're reading. Please, let's go and buy pizza, Jerry. I'm tired of all this, your book. You read books too much. No matter how beautiful that woman is, don't get married to her. Get married to her, she will either hinder you or at best allow you. But if you do not know your purpose, you will spend your courtship period eating pizza, taking ice cream, at worst having sex, when you actually should be interviewing each other. Women too interview men. Does he know his purpose? Everything he says is, oh, I'm just tired of this work. Oh, I'm so tired. Oh, my boss told me to do this. Oh, I'm trying to get. No, come on. The guy is not saying anything that makes sense. Just working in somebody else's company and always telling you about his boss, his boss, his boss. No vision of his own. No dreams. No assignments. Women don't just get carried away by his car. His car has AC. God. His sitting room is so fine. He has DSTV. Come on. Does he have a purpose? Does he have a mission? Does he? Courtship. Never skip the friendship stage. It is very important. Never skip the friendship stage. Investigate, investigate, investigate. See, I'll tell you a story in closing. I talk about my dogs a lot. I learn a lot from my dogs, to be honest, and my experience with them. You see, 9 years ago, I bought a dog. I've always wanted to have a dog, but then, me and my wife's not aligned on that having a dog issue, so I didn't take it seriously. But then we got robbed, and then we decided to get a dog. So we got a dog, a bull mastiff, pretty big dog. But then that was my first dog, and I got the dog because we were robbed, so I was in a hurry to get the dog. Problem number one, in a hurry to get a dog. So I didn't investigate. I didn't even know anything about investigating the pedigree of a dog, the lineage, the bloodline of a dog. It's very important. You don't go and get a dog. Oh, this dog is so cute. This puppy is so cute. All puppies are cute till they begin to grow. So I went somewhere where there was a kennel, and I saw puppies. Bull mastiff puppies, just what I wanted. Big, intimidating dog. I saw their mother, big, intimidating mother. I saw the beautiful puppies, very adorable. So I started talking with the guy, and the guy kept on showing me how beautiful the puppies were. All he was showing me, see how beautiful they are. Say, carry them, so beautiful, so this. I got carried away. How much? How much? I paid for it. Then I brought the dog home. To be honest with you, from the first day I put that dog in my car to bring it home, I saw a patch on the dog's head. A patch. Unusual patch. I just thought, okay, maybe the hair will grow in. I didn't know that patch was the beginning of my troubles with that dog. I love the dog. It's a great dog. My first dog is still alive, but I'll get to where it is right now. I saw the patch. I ignored it. I saw that after a few days, I saw another patch. I was like, this thing, why is it developing patches on the fur? But I just ignored it. I was thinking, okay, maybe it will just grow in and stuff. I didn't investigate. But that dog is 9 years old now. And you don't want to know how much I've spent on that dog for skin diseases, growth on the body, tumors. I've spent so much. That dog has had 3 surgeries. 3 surgeries. Nobody in my house has ever had a surgery. We've spent on 3 surgeries for that dog. But were the signs there? Yes. In fact, when I looked at the dog, first I was just looking, look at the teeth, but I wasn't sure. But then there were signs that there was something wrong with the bloodline. It's a beautiful dog where you sit outside because we take care of it very well. You understand? But we are the ones that know where the shoe hurts. Because I just went based on it's cute, it's adorable, it's fine. I didn't ask questions. Let me see the father. Let me see the mother. Does she get sick? Where is the vet card? What's the history? Can I talk to the vet of this dog? It has cost me hundreds of thousands right now on that particular dog. Because I just committed without investigating. It was beautiful. It was cute. It was adorable. But there are challenges. Right now, it still has challenges. Still has challenges. We're still spending on it. But you see, this is what we do when we go into courtship without investigating. Based on, is this person beautiful? Is this person fine? Is this person this? No. Investigate, ask questions. Ask about the parents. All I needed was to ask about the parents of my dog. And some people, I still realize that some people are still very impulsive. When I take this dog on a walk, a lot of people are so impressed by the size of the head, the muscular body, and they just tell me, please, can I come and mate my dog with yours? Just tell me, can I come and cross? I can bring my dog tomorrow. And like, these people don't even know that if I cross this dog, I'm just only extending the pain and the difficulty to them. They don't know. I just see them impulsive by how the dog, they don't ask me anything about the health. If I was a wicked person, I'll just tell them, oh yeah, come across, cross. I was telling my wife the other day that it's a good thing. It's only once I've crossed this dog, and that's when I didn't know that there was an issue. Now we know there's an issue. Crossing is not there anymore. We are not allowing that dog to cross. That dog cannot cross. There are some people, some girls, you see them, they are beautiful. But that line should stop there with them, because there's too much passed down that shouldn't be passed down. Too much that shouldn't be passed down. Some mental illnesses, some physical illnesses, some spiritual things. Investigate. That guy that you see is so, that guy should not marry you. Some of them should not marry. I'm telling you. When you say a guy say, I just don't want to marry, please just leave him. He knows what he's saying. Maybe he's just saying nothing should be passed down. It shouldn't be passed down, please. Maybe till I get delivered. Just leave him. And then some of you are angry with the guy that he broke up with you, not knowing that he saved your life and saved the world. Please investigate. Please have courtships. Please be friends. Check out what their life is at home. What do your siblings think about them? Before I married my wife, before I even asked her out, stylishly, introduced her to my siblings. Do you understand? I would just accidentally, in quote, bump into her. I'll just stay somewhere. I'll just tell my sister, stay with me here. She's coming out of here right now. They'll not do like, oh, how you doing? And stuff like that. And my sister will just say, oh, this is my sister. This. And we'll just talk for like 5 minutes. I say, that's her. What do you think? I did it with both my sisters. And they both told me, I like her. I like her energy. I wasn't being foolish. I was just wanting to investigate. Please investigate. I've taken a lot of time to do this podcast because I realize it's very important. This mentality that I don't have time for the talking stage is a disease. It needs to stop. Women, be patient. It is your strength. It is your essence. Men, be purposeful and be prayerful. It is your essence. It is your strength. My name is Tola T.A. Alabi, and this is the TA Podcast.